Good afternoon and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council Cablecast public hearing for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, relative to Council Bill 1736. Would the clerk please read the title of the bill?
Bill 1736, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title VI, Conduct, Article 1, Regulated Rights and Actions, Chapter 626, Paid Sick Days Act, Section 626.03, accrual of sick time, so as to change the rate at which employees can accumulate paid sick leave hours and increase the maximum total amount of paid sick leave hours that can be accumulated.
Thank you very much. For the record, we are also joined by Councilman Bob Charlin, who has joined us online. Other members may be joining us periodically. Our next order of business will be testimony from our registered speakers. For registered speakers, you will all be given 3 minutes to speak. To address council, please provide your name and your neighborhood for the record. After we have exhausted our list of registered speakers, we'll then turn to anyone who else has also joined us in chambers wishing to speak today. Our first registered speaker is Mr. Tyler Gillette.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak today. My name is Tyler Gillette. I'm a staff attorney with the Women's Law Project. We are a state-based legal advocacy organization working to defend and advance the rights of women, girls, and LGBTQ people across Pennsylvania. And I'd like to discuss the impact of paid sick leave policies on women and LGBTQ people. As you may know, women are disproportionately represented in the service industry and in low-wage work that typically lacks access to voluntary paid sick leave from their employers. For example, women are most likely to care for a new child after a child is born, particularly if the child falls ill. However, the women most likely to become mothers also have the lowest rates of access to voluntary sick leave. Because of this, paid sick leave laws like Pittsburgh's ordinance are vital for these workers to access the health care they deserve. This is also an intersectional issue, as gender identity compounds with racial and ethnic disparities in access to paid sick leave. For example, Black and Latino workers have less access to paid sick leave than white workers, and because women are disproportionately the primary caregivers in households, women of color are less likely to have access to paid sick leave. Paid sick leave also encourages the use of preventative care, like biannual mammograms recommended by the CDC. 1 in 4 women ages 50 to 74 are not up to date with their cancer screenings, but expanding paid sick days could encourage working women to stay current with their health care. Changes to paid sick day policies also impact LGBTQ individuals, in particular transgender individuals, who may need more time off for medical and counseling appointments than cisgender workers. Access to gender-affirming care is vitally important for the health and well-being of transgender individuals, and expanding paid sick days will make that care more available to them. Finally, access to paid sick leave increases the likelihood that pregnant working women remain active members of the workforce in the months leading up to childbirth. Inadequate amounts of sick leave increase the risk that pregnant women become depressed or develop comorbidities like gestational diabetes or hypertension, which can then harm the fetus's health as well. Given that pregnancy-related illnesses can start as soon as 4 weeks into pregnancy, access to an expanded number of paid sick days is key to pregnant workers maintaining their health while they continue working. We would please urge the council to vote in favor of expanding the number of paid sick days available to workers in Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Gabrielle Wynn. I believe is on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Thank you, council members, for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Gabrielle Wynn, and I am a staff attorney at A Better Balance and a 2016 graduate from the University of Pittsburgh. A Better Balance is a national legal advocacy organization based in New York with 4 regional offices. We've provided legal and implementation support on nearly all of the paid sick leave laws in effect in the country, and we thank you for considering Bill 1736, which would expand on Pittsburgh's current paid sick time law to bring it into line with others around the United States. In 2015, Pittsburgh made the commitment to the health and safety of its citizens when it first passed the Paid Sick Days Act. In the decade since this council first passed the law, however, Pittsburgh's paid sick time protections have fallen behind. Today, we are asking that the council recommit to the health and welfare of its residents by voting to modernize its paid sick leave policy to meet the needs of Pittsburgh workers. I want to highlight our support for the bill's two important changes. First, improving the accrual rate for paid sick time so that workers can accrue 1 hour of paid sick leave for every 30 hours worked instead of 35 hours. By making this change, Pittsburgh will join 15 states and 11 localities across the country that already have this accrual rate. Second, the bill increases the amount of paid sick time that a worker can earn per year. For workers at a business with fewer than 15 employees, it would mean that they can accrue and use a maximum of 48 hours of paid sick leave per year, rather than the mere 3 days provided under the current law. By making this change, Pittsburgh will join Minnesota, New Mexico, Colorado, and 4 localities that ensure workers and small businesses can earn up to 48 hours of paid sick leave per year. For workers at a business with 15 or more employees, this bill would ensure that they can accrue and use a maximum of 72 hours of paid sick leave per year. Pittsburgh would join Michigan and 5 localities that entitle workers to this amount of paid sick time. For workers and business, both workers and businesses will benefit from an expansion of the current paid sick leave law. For workers, a faster accrual rate and more sick time hours will increase preventative care, reduce the spread of illness, and allow workers to have sufficient time to care for sick loved ones. Expanding paid sick leave is good for business as it results in improved employee recruitment, retention, and productivity. Paid sick leave costs employers only 2.7 cents per hour worked, and studies show that workers do not abuse sick leave and use it conservatively so that it can be saved for when truly necessary. Bill 1736 provides meaningful benefits to workers of color, women, and young workers. These workers are more likely to have public-facing jobs and take on family caregiving responsibilities. Expanding paid sick leave in this way offers a vital lifeline to workers of all backgrounds. In closing, we urge the council to advance Bill 1736 without delay. Once the bill is adopted, Pittsburgh will join a growing number of states and localities that have successfully implemented the changes proposed in 1736. Those laws are working well and illustrate that providing a sufficient baseline of paid sick time will support better health outcomes for Pittsburgh residents, reduce financial hardship, and strengthen the local economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Diana Polson. She's online. You can begin speaking.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for holding this hearing today. My name is Diana Polson and I live in Point Breeze. I'm a senior policy analyst at the Keystone Research Center, a nonprofit think tank dedicated to building a more prosperous and equitable Pennsylvania economy. Previously, we've done research and provided testimony on the importance of paid sick leave for workers, public health, and businesses. But today, instead of just citing research, I want to share my personal story from this past year to pull this conversation out of the abstract and to make it more real. First, I want to say that I'm lucky to have an employer that provides generous sick leave. In September, during a routine mammogram, something I've been able to stay on top of because I have paid sick time, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. We know from the research that having access to paid sick leave increases the use of preventative health care. For me, this preventative health care meant I caught my breast cancer early, making it much more treatable. Since then, I've undergone surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. I estimate I've spent at least 26 hours going to medical appointments and scans and about 48 hours away from work for surgery and treatments. That's a minimum of 74 hours of sick leave needed just to get through the basics of my care over the last 9 months, without even counting the time I needed to rest and recover from treatments that often made me sick. Without that time, I don't know how I would have managed my job alongside healing from my treatment. Paid sick leave was so important to me, but also really did benefit my employer, who was able to get my full focus and attention when I was able to work because I had the time to heal. And my situation was made even harder because my son was also diagnosed with a chronic illness this last year. Between my own health and caring for him, taking him to procedures, doctor's appointments, and often needing to pick him up from school, I needed even more flexibility. I work from home and have a supportive partner who can share these caretaking responsibilities, but many single parents or in-person workers don't always have this kind of support or flexibility, and for them, more extensive paid sick leave is critical. We know from research that paid sick leave is rarely abused. In New York City, for example, despite workers having access to 5 days, the median used was only 3. But before this year, I barely used my sick leave, mainly for preventative care or taking my kids to doctor's appointments. But when illness hits, as it eventually does for many, that leave becomes a lifeline. I know my situation is not one that every person will face, but it's important to note that chronic illness is rising. More than 1 in 4 adults now live with a serious health condition. When people are sick, they need time to heal. And when a loved one is sick, families need the flexibility to care for them without the added stress of losing their job or income as they navigate a health.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that we've been joined by Councilwoman Barbara Warwick, who is online, and Councilman Bobby Wilson with us today. Our next speaker is Francesca Spector.
Hi there, really excited for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Francesca Spector. I'm a PhD candidate in the Human-Computer Interaction Institute at Carnegie Mellon. And I'm here today to present the results of a study that we conducted with 32 BJ workers, cleaning workers, which strongly supports the expansion of paid sick days for all workers. So in collaboration with 32 BJ, we conducted semi-structured interviews with 14 members who work in commercial cleaning across a range of sites and shift types. We were looking to understand reporting gaps around collective stress, injury, workload. And we found that 13 out of 14 workers described persistent chronic pain across every part of the body. Leg pain, foot problems, plantar fasciitis, twisting motions while vacuuming caused hip pain, knee pain, back pain. Repetitive motion contributed to sore shoulders, painful joints, numbness in the hands, carpal tunnel. Workers also highlighted the toll the job has taken on their coworkers, including early retirement and early death. Others described how common it was to see people go through major surgeries, as well as reports of coworkers having hysterectomies at unusually high rates. Every single worker we talked to, out of a pretty small sample, described experiencing heavy psychological stress. We understand that this kind of widespread occupational harm as a slow cumulative process that disproportionately affects low-wage workers. What's going on here is not the cause of a single acute injury, and it's certainly not an accident. Scholars have described these slow-moving harms as a form of targeted debility. In our studies, workers trace their experiences to specific workplace conditions. These are very tough jobs. Workers described exposure to dangerous chemicals, lack of adequate PPE, heavy loads, constant time crunch due to short staffing, and a general disregard for their well-being by management companies. Many take on night shift work to care for family members during the day. So what happens when workers become too ill or injured to work? Many cannot take the time for a full recovery due to financial pressures. As one worker said, "I can't afford to stay out. I just work through the pain." Individuals reported numerous instances of coming in with the flu after having hurt themselves on the job during an arthritis flare-up. One worker for years delayed surgery for a fused spinal disc because she was worried she wouldn't have enough time to recover. In practice, we found that workers who were relatively young and healthy used their sick days sparingly. But for the most vulnerable workers we spoke with, those who are older, with more chronic conditions, sick days are a precious safety net. We hope this testimony demonstrates why low-wage workers deserve as many sick days, if not more, than workers in highly paid industries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sathya Venkatsu Brahmanian. I will try this. Sathya Venkatsu Brahmanian. And I apologize if I'm not getting that correct. I do not see them online. We will come back Our next speaker is Tiana Wilson.
Hello, my name is Tiana Wilson. I live in the Carrick neighborhood. I'm a member of SEIU 32BJ. Working as a security guard, I'm the first one to interact as everyone enters the building. I work at 412 Boulevard of the Allies, where the Housing Authority, Zone Board, and Planning Commission holds their public meetings. So if I'm sick, I'm exposing everyone who walks into my building. I see familiar faces before me here today. And believe me, I've come to work sick. Last winter, I had the flu. I was out for a week. That's half a paycheck. But I didn't have any sick time left, so I had to use PTO. But the problem is the PTO, you need to come into work to write it on the timesheet. Then you have to wait for it to be approved. That could be days of me sitting at work, sick because I can't afford to lose any time. 5 days are not enough to stay healthy and to make sure that I'm not spreading illness. If I have 9 days, I could stay home, recover, so I can get back to work, perform my duties to the fullest. So I'm asking you please to support the bill. By protecting us, you're protecting the rest of the city. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Lauren Brinjack.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, President LaValle and council members. My name is Lauren Brinjack, and I am the Senior Director of Government Affairs for the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association. We represent over 600 operators in Allegheny County and nearly 6,000 members across the Commonwealth. Thank you very much for holding this hearing today. We appreciate the opportunity to participate, and we'd like to present our concerns regarding the proposed expansion of Pittsburgh's Paid Sick Days Act. While the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association and its member operators take very seriously the health and well-being of workers and certainly understand the importance of public health measures, we question the need for these proposed changes at this time. The current Paid Sick Days Act went into effect a relatively short time ago. We have worked to amplify the message the Mayor's Office of Equal Protection sent to the hospitality industry as recently as late 2023 and early last year to make sure our members are aware of their obligations and complying with the current act. So not only will these changes come on the heels of an act that itself is not very old and does currently seem to be working, this expansion will make Pittsburgh an outlier, going beyond other paid sick leave ordinances in place not only in Pennsylvania, such as Allegheny County and the city of Philadelphia, but as well as around our neighboring states. In the current business environment, the hospitality industry is operating on razor-thin margins, and these proposed changes will be very challenging in terms of payroll costs as well as hiring, particularly for smaller operations. As I'm sure you know, the hospitality industry is particularly vulnerable to volatility in the economy. And over the last 5 years, from COVID to rising costs across food, labor, supplies, energy, insurance, and other materials, it's been very difficult for many operators to know where their bottom line is going to come from. While the hospitality industry in Pittsburgh is committed to supporting and improving the well-being of the workforce, we're concerned that these proposed changes not only seem unnecessary at this time, but will be detrimental to helping businesses thrive in the city right now. And for these reasons, we urge City Council not to move forward with these changes to the Paid Sick Days Act. And we appreciate your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Joshua Kunkel.
Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Joshua Kunkel. I live in West Mifflin. I am a security guard at PNC Bank downtown and a member of SEIU 32BJ. When my son was born, I was working a non-union job with no paid sick leave or PTO. I couldn't even be there when he was born. I couldn't even visit him during the first 2 weeks he spent in the NICU. We worried every day about whether he would pull through, but I just couldn't afford to miss work. Now I'm fortunate to have a union job and 5 days of paid sick leave, or at least I did, until this past March when our employer cut our paid sick time and PTO. Even with these benefits, I've had to come to work sick because 5 days just isn't enough. I've had the flu, but still went to work with Theraflu and a mask because I don't want to use up all my paid sick time, just in case there's an emergency later on in the year. But when I'm sick, I know I can't give it 100% at my job, no matter how much I want to, be there for my family and coworkers. There are times I've gotten sick just from being at work. With 9 paid sick days, I could take the time I need to recover and perform my duties to the fullest. It's my job to keep my work site safe. The last thing I want to do is get people sick. So, please pass this bill. Protect us so we can keep protecting you. Thank you all.
Our next speaker is Jeff Agostiniak.
Sorry, I've never done anything like this. Hi, my name is Jeff Augustiniak. I live in Scott Township, but I work security at 600 Grand U.S. Steel Tower in Pittsburgh. I'm also with the SEIU, member 32BJ. With the raising of the paid sick days, I actually have a disease called myasthenia gravis. It's a rare genetic abnormality where when I have flare-ups, I can't walk, I can't move my arms properly, my eyes droop, and I have trouble even breathing and even chewing my food. The problem is, with only 5 paid sick days that I currently have, that's just simply not enough if I have flare-ups on top of potentially getting sick throughout the entire year. What we're trying to do is increase those paid sick days is a matter of, sorry, I'm nervous. Increasing paid sick leave is a matter of survival for those of us who have chronic health conditions like myself, both in terms of physical well-being and the ability to make ends meet if we miss work. It's also a matter of public health because people are spreading illnesses when they can't afford to miss pay or come to work sick. Sorry again. Please do the right thing by increasing the paid sick day for all of us who have chronic diseases, so that we can actually help you keeping the city safe. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Santia Moss.
Hello, my name is Santia Moss. I live at 1407 Village Road, Pittsburgh, PA, 15205, Ferrywood neighborhood. I'm a security guard at 525 William Penn Place and a member of SEIU 32BJ. I work from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., so it is impossible to schedule doctor's appointments because they are only available during those hours when I'm working. That means I'm forced to use vacation time for illness or doctor's appointments. Ever since COVID, we've been short-staffed because they've eliminated posts. So I've had no choice but to come to work sick, and I worry about getting my coworkers sick. For older workers, that sick time is even more critical. I had an older coworker with a heart issue who we had to call an ambulance for him, and he was back at work 2 days later. The ability to earn 9 paid sick days would improve workers' health and keep everyone safer. Please pass this bill to make the city a healthier place to live and work. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Bernetta Brown.
My name is Bernetta Brown. I live at 7125 Thomas Boulevard, 15208. I am a cleaner at Station Square I'm a member of 32 BJ SEIU for 24 years. I'm currently have 6 sick days. I come to work sick because we're short-staffed, and I want to keep my days. When we're short-staffed for people, we have to take on more work on top of our regular assignment, and we have to skip our detail work. Most of our coworkers have already used up their sick days, and the year just started. It is important for me to use my days sparingly. I deal with asthma. I carry my inhaler when I have to I cough at work, and to make sure that I have it so that I don't make it be bad for myself. Once I have a coughing spell so bad, some of my tenants check on me. It would be nice to have more paid sick days to recover when I'm sick. We're overworked, underpaid, and most often must clean up, must expose us to germs and illness. Non-paid sick days would give us a break from pressure and strain and to do our jobs to our best ability. Please think of what's best for the public and increase paid sick leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Pamela Rawl Johnston.
Hello, I'm Pamela Rawl Johnston. I live at 211 Ballou Street in Pittsburgh, PA, 15214, the North Side area. Fine View to be specific. And I'm a janitor at the University of Pittsburgh and a proud SEIU 32BJ member for over 30 years. At the University of Pittsburgh, we were lucky enough to actually negotiate from 6 sick days to 10 sick days, which is, for our union, it's the most in the city. I do believe all workers deserve at least 9 sick days. We went through the pandemic and all these contagious illnesses came out of it. We, with 10 sick days at the university, barely made it through without being disciplined, overly sick, losing time, losing pay. There is no reason anybody should have to go and stress out over losing pay or their health. We all have families to take care of, we have kids, we have elderly, and we should all have the right to have 9 sick days to make sure we can take care of them and afford to put a roof over their heads if necessary. So like I said, I'm very lucky to have the 10 sick days, so I would like to see every worker in the city, including non-union, have a right to have 9 sick days to take care of themselves and their family. So please pass this legislation. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Lawana Adams.
Hello, my name is Lawana Adams. I'm a resident of Homestead. I work downtown as a cleaner, and I'm a proud member of SEIU 32BJ. Right now, I have only 5 sick days, which isn't enough. I've been working since 1979, and to only have 5 sick days all these years later is really not okay. I had to work sick. If I run out of sick days and want to use PTO to recover, that still has to be approved. Workers like me can't just call out and work from home. Having 9 sick days would help me heal when I'm sick and take care of myself so I don't put my other workers or tenants at risk. Essential workers like me keep Pittsburgh's office buildings, universities, and public spaces clean and running. Please pass this bill to protect workers and make Pittsburgh a healthier city. Thank you.
Our next speaker is James Byrd.
Hi, Jim Byrd, Bank in New York Mellon, a couple blocks down for 25 years, proud SEIU 32BJ member for 25 years. On the paid sick days, it's actually a necessity. The air in the building is consistently bad. We work around tenants. We're cleaning their offices, the floors, we're vacuuming, and they get sick, we get sick. So it's a constant, uneven battle. And with COVID cases still around and new diseases such as measles that we thought was eradicated years ago is springing up through the county, just to add to the influx. And a lot of members having to call off. The 5 sick days are used like almost immediately in some cases. A lot of my workers have allergies, especially the older people. So I ask again, we really need the additional sick days, pass this bill now, and as a foundation to get more later on. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Paul Griffin. Okay. Our next speaker is Theodore Hoffman.
Hello, my name is Theodore Hoffman. I'm a proud member of SEIU 32BJ. I live in the Brentwood neighborhood. I work at the Carnegie Museums in security. We need 9 sick days. We're in a situation where one illness, things like COVID and the flu, can wipe out the entirety of the 5 sick days we have already. That leaves no days left for a doctor appointment, for caring for a sick family member. It's simply not enough. When you miss work and don't have a sick day, your paycheck looks anemic. We can't afford to do that. We have families to support. We have mortgages to pay. We're essential workers. We keep the city safe. We need to be able to keep them safe. We should not have to come to work sick to get other workers and the public sick. And we should not have to forego our paychecks because we had to miss work. This is basic human decency. It's basic public health. And I urge you, please, pass this. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Stephen Kelly. Our next speaker is Jeffrey Waddell. Okay. Our next speaker is Latasha Scruggs. And our next speaker is Antoinette White.
Hello, City Council and everyone. My name is Antoinette White. I live in McKees Rocks. I've been a heavy cleaner downtown for 10 years, and I am a proud member of SEIU 32BJ. I am a proud working mother of my 2 amazing daughters. Any parent knows that things come up that require us to use sick days. I had COVID in 2022, right at the beginning of the year, when my paid sick time had just renewed. Right after that, I got hurt and slipped and fell. Between those 2 injuries, I was left with no days, no peace of mind for the rest of the year, consistently worried about what I would do and another emergency arose. Having enough time for illness and emergencies is essential, especially since we are the people who keep the city clean. I want you to be considerate of people who have chronic health issues. This bill would be a step in the right direction. I thank you, City Council, for taking the time to hear from me and my colleagues today, and for you to vote to protect our workers. Please pass this bill. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Christopher Bishop.
Hello, council members. My name is Christopher Bishop. I live at 1872 Morningside Avenue in Morningside, Pittsburgh, PA. I'm a cleaner at CMU and a proud member of SEIU 32BJ. When I started my current job, I developed a worsening tooth infection not long into the new year. As I began to tremble and shake from the developing fever, my partner told me I should call off work. I can't, I told her. I only have a couple days to last me the whole year, and if something bad happens, then what am I going to do? The infection was heading into my sinuses, and soon I was sneezing blood. But I still went to work, not out of pride, but out of desperation and fear. When City Council first passed the Paid Sick Days Act, having the ability to earn 5 sick days felt like a blessing and a breather. We don't choose when we get sick, and we certainly don't have the privilege of working from home or just calling in to request PTO. By March of this year, I have exhausted all of my sick days after several hindering illnesses. When you get sick and you're out of days, the choice is simple. Push yourself and go to work sick, or lose a day's wages on your next check. Dragging yourself to work sick so you can keep food on the table and a roof over your head is not safe. It's not productive. It is not evidence of a strong work ethic. It's not living. It's surviving, and barely. Being able to earn more paid sick time would help keep us working. We want to thrive and we want our communities to thrive, but we can't do that if we're just trying to survive. Let us be sick, let us rest, and let us have the comfort of knowing we can work again uninterrupted by fear. Please support this bill and give us the dignity that 9 paid sick days would afford. Thank you.
Let the record reflect, we've also been joined by Councilwoman Teresa Kale Smith. Our next speaker is Sam Williamson.
Thank you. My name is Sam Williamson. I'm the Pennsylvania State Director of SEIU 32BJ, and I live in Council District 7 in Friendship. It is really great to be here, but first I want to thank all of the 32BJ members who have come out, some of them directly from work, and put in a lot of their own time into advocating for this incredible and important bill. Our members, as you've heard, serve food on college campuses. They clean and provide security at our office buildings, at our universities, our stadiums, our museums. They interact with the public every single day, and they keep this city running. Our members, as you've heard and will continue to hear, overwhelmingly support Ordinance 2025-1736, which would increase, of course, the amount of paid sick leave available to all Pittsburgh workers. I want to thank Council President Lavelle for his leadership on this issue. And I really want to use my time to talk about a little bit of history. Pittsburgh City Council first passed the Paid Sick Act in 2015, responding to the overwhelming public health need to ensure that every single Pittsburgh worker had access to at least some paid sick time. It was estimated then that around 50,000 workers had no access to even a single sick day. They had to go without pay and sacrifice bills or rent or food, or they had to show up for work sick every single time they were sick. Most times they came to work sick. And after a long court battle in which our union was integrally involved, the law was upheld in 2020 by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court just in time for the COVID-19 pandemic to hit. And I want to remind everyone, the Restaurant and Lodging Association, that was one of the entities to sue the city and hold up the law for 5 years. So it takes an awful lot of something to sue the city and delay the implementation of an important law for 5 years, and then show up and say that that law has only recently been implemented. The administration, the Gainey administration, has done an amazing job over the last 4 years, of making sure that this law was successfully implemented and enacted. But we've also seen again and again over the last 5 years how 40 hours is not enough. In 2021, in the heart of the pandemic, this council and the then Peduto administration took action to make sure that every worker had an additional 10 days of COVID-19 paid sick days. But those expired when the public health state of emergency was lifted. And we've seen then, since then, over and over and over again, from COVID spikes to bad flu seasons to the everyday issues that you've heard our members talk about again and again and again, that 5 days is not enough. So we look forward to you acting on this either the next week or the following week, and we look forward to its quick and final passage. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that exhausts our list of registered speakers. Of those who previously registered but are on their way here, when they show up, they will certainly be given their full 3 minutes. With that, we'll now turn it over to anyone else who has joined us in chambers who wishes to speak. Please come forward, provide your name, your neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 1 minute to speak.
Hello, my name is Jessica Seven, and I live in Bellevue, Pennsylvania, 15202. I will be a union office cleaner in downtown Pittsburgh for 15 years as of August. I'm here to tell you why we need more sick days, because last year the flu was crazy. It made me really sick. I caught the flu on a Friday, and Saturday morning I was in the hospital. I went to the emergency room, and I was admitted after my fever spiked, and I went into respiratory failure. I was discharged on a Sunday, and the doctors told me to rest for at least 3 days so my lungs could heal. I returned to work. After the 3 days, my coworkers told me I should have taken off more time, but I did not. I was happy I did not have to make a decision between my finances and my health. I'm also really lucky that I only took 3 days in January, because in May of 2024, I had a really bad headache on a Monday and Tuesday. My supervisor was nice enough to let me leave early. So naturally on Tuesday, when I left early, I stopped in the emergency room, and it was a good thing. Something was wrong. I had COVID headache. I was told I had to
Thank you.
quarantine for 5 days. Thank God it was a Wednesday, because I only had to quarantine Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and was off the weekends.
Your
Otherwise, I would have lost 2 whole days of pay.
Thank you.
This is why we need to extend the legislation.
Good afternoon. My name is Marta Blunt, and I live at 7323 Bennett Street, 1528. I'm from Homewood, Brushton. I just celebrated 34 years as a member of the SEIU 32BJ, and I'm a food service worker at Duquesne University. I have 5 sick days. I use them sparingly. It's just not enough. A lot of us are getting older, and medical concerns come up. Having those days to call off when needed is crucial. I'm a caregiver for an elderly parent, and it's just not me, it's my family also. Working in food service is the necessity of a healthy work environment. Having 5 sick days is a public health crisis. Paid sick days are essential to the workers and their families. With RSV, COVID, and the flu and the triple-demic, at any given time, your 5 days are gone like a snot. It's important to workers to have time to take care of their families and themselves to ensure that Pittsburgh is healthy. Being able to earn 9 sick days is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Our well-being and our safety and the people we serve. On behalf of my union and all the working people of Pittsburgh, I would like to thank Council President Lavelle and the other members who have signed. Please test this bill, it's essential. Paid sick days are an essential part of a worker's lives. If you have families, children, and dependents, it's not just about you, it's about others.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Cynthia Pendleton, and I live in Wilkinsburg. I'm a food service worker at Kelly School, and I'm a member of SEIU 32BJ. Unfortunately, this bill wouldn't affect my school district, but I know that Pittsburgh public school workers and my fellow union members who work in food service at the universities
face the same struggles. The importance of more paid sick days. I have come to work sick, and we are short-staffed, and I can't let my supervisor down. I have a sister with cancer, a niece with sickle cell, and I'm the most healthiest person in my family. So I know I'm replaceable at any job. We all are. So at any given time, if I have to take off, I'm taking off. My family comes before anything, and I love my job. I love my job. And I have come to work sick because we never had sick days. We had PTO days.
Thank you.
You know, and I want to just say the 5 sick days are not enough. 9 days would help keep us healthy and children safe. Please pass the bill. Thank you.
For anyone who has prepared remarks and you run past your time, feel free to submit them to the clerk, and we can make sure all members get your full remarks. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Kevin Finn. I live in Larimer. Security professional for 1 PNC Plaza. I just want to say this 9 days would help us kind of continue on with our year. I would say 90% of us already used our 5 days that were top loaded, but now accrual is back on the table. It's a difficulty of COVID and flu, especially at peak season. Pretty much wipes out everyone on my shift, invariably for every year. The 4 extra days would help us continue on with our year. And I concur with everyone here saying this is essential for us to continue on with our jobs, which we all do to the best of our ability, and allowing us to have this sick time would allow us to continue on with that. So thank you very much, and please pass this bill.
Hi, my name is Kathy Mittermeier, and I live at 1917 Larry Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15212. And I work as a custodian, among other things, at the University of Pittsburgh for the Compass Food Service. I've been a member of 32BJ for 33 years, and I currently have 5 paid sick days, actually 40 hours. It doesn't count as days. Anyway, and I've had to go to work sick. I've had to go to work sick because I ran out of sick days and personal days. I'm old, so are a lot of people that I work with. And we get sick faster than the younger group. So working sick is very non-productive, and in my opinion, I could not do my best work. Worst of all, I could have gotten my coworkers sick, requiring them to have to take off sick. That's a no-win problem that more sick days could solve.
Hello, my name is Takesha Johnson. I am a cook at Carnegie Mellon University. I've been there for 17 years and a member of 32BJ as well. I only have 5 sick days, which I believe is insufficient and urgently needs to be addressed. I have come to work sick. I'm currently sick, and I have to be there to do the task that I am supposed to do. The doctors told me to take off 3 days, but I was still sick. I had to come to work. We don't have enough sick days. Germs spread. We also have students' germs, so they ask us to interact with them, which I think is unfair. The students don't care. They cough, and they wipe stuff all over everything. It's frustrating because we're around students and staff, so you being sick or completely not well is affecting the whole generation of people. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jay Siri. I live in the Crafton area, zip code 15204. I work as an ambassador, security professional for 1PNC, the former headquarters. I have been a member of the SEIU 32BJ for 2 years now. Having 9 or more sick days would mean that I can properly recover from a debilitating illness that keeps me bedridden or from transmitting a viral infection to my coworkers. It is absolutely absurd that my employer expects me to give 100% if I can barely recover from an illness with conditions that could be preventable if I had the time to take care of myself. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Next speaker, please. Any further speakers? Has anyone joined us that was previously registered to speak? Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Gary Cowles. I am from the Sheridan area, 15204. Just let me start off saying first and foremost, I appreciate having this opportunity to speak today. I am very humble. I'm humble at my group 32 here, BJ, for showing up today. But I'll pose just a few questions, not so much of a story, because you had them all, okay? And this is what we all have in common. So my question, as it was thrown at me, do you ever come to work sick? You ask yourself that question as every day we ask ourselves. Or do you have a health condition that puts you at a greater risk? And this is not only you, it's to your loved ones. Put all that together, you got one. How would 9 paid sick days improve your health? It's another question. Question meaning that, you go to work every day and you struggle to work. And what I mean by struggle is struggling just to get up. So to improve your health, you have to have a strong mind and ready to go. Okay? 5 paid sick days are not enough to stay healthy and perform duties.
Sir, if you be willing to submit your comments to the clerk, you've gone past your
To the
time.
clerk?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Please pass the bill and give workers like me the respect and protection of 9 paid sick days.
Thank you, sir.
And I appreciate you very much.
Thank
the opportunity to be here. And have a wonderful evening.
I want to go back through the registered speaker list just to make sure someone didn't step in who was previously registered. Is not yet? Okay. With that being said, then we've exhausted our public hearing. I'll turn it over to members if they want to provide any comment. Councilman Wilson?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. President, for being here, and thank you, everyone, to all the speakers that I'm looking on this list, but also ones that came and gave their minute of comment. I appreciate that. And I really just want to say that I heard a while ago when I was becoming a friend of 32BJ that all of you show up to your negotiating meetings when you negotiate with the employers. That's what this feels like. Is that what it feels like? I don't know. I often wonder, like, should I go to that? Should I go to those meetings to see what that interaction is like? But maybe this is a little different. But my point is that we're hearing directly from you, the people who are the workers, working families here in Pittsburgh, and it's critically important that we continually hear from you. I know for me, it's been dramatically, changed my life in terms of representing people like yourselves, and especially coming from a working family, knowing that, I heard stories of, my dad drove a truck for Roadway, and I'll hear stories of theft of time, and how if you didn't clock back in from your lunch break for 30 seconds after, then he would be I think he would bill time because it was theft of time from the company. And I just thought, for me growing up, as a teenager or whatever, hearing about this, and then in college, I thought that was pretty wild. And then becoming an elected official and hearing the real, well, that was obviously a real story, but more stories of real encounters with employers and how you were treated. It's made a big impact on me and why I feel proud to represent the district that I represent, and feel proud to be a part of all the efforts that you all have been a part of. So I know there was some history that was put down here in terms of the the paid sick pay. I was happy to be a part of that, which was to extend the COVID sick pay during that time. We were the only city, I believe, in the nation that did that. And so when questions are asked, why would we do this versus Philly? Why would we do this versus other cities? I think the reason for that is because we can be a leader here in the city of Pittsburgh to support workers. And that's all I'm about, and I appreciate that that's what you all are about. And that's why I became a co-sponsor of this bill. And I'm proud to, be a part of expanding COVID sick pay in the city of Pittsburgh. And I'm looking forward to the discussion when this bill comes back to this table at City Council, hopefully next week. So looking forward to that discussion, and we'll be in support of this expansion. And feel free to reach out to my office. I know we've been receiving many emails. They're greatly appreciated. See, that's why I like you all, because you all have a sense of humor. So, but I guess I would be remiss by not recognizing that I am too in need of sick pay. And as you can see, I came in on some crutches, and I feel very grateful and fortunate that I am in a position where not only can I work virtually, but hopefully my employer, which is all of you and all the people that I represent, recognize that I need time to heal as well. So there has been some public events that I haven't been able to get to, but I continue to try and do what I can. But I know in other situations that's just not possible. Other work situations it's just not possible, like you've recognized here. So just wanted to say I don't for a second take for granted what I'm given here, and that's what you all should have. You all should be treated with dignity and respect. So appreciate you coming here and telling us about what you all are feeling. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Smith?
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank you all for coming down. And I don't do that often. Let me tell you, I used to actually threaten Bill Peduto if he'd send people down to speak that I was going to vote no, just because he did that all the time to us. And it was mostly CM leading the charge. But I do appreciate it. And over time, I've learned to really appreciate public comment more than I like hearing us talk. So I would just say that I am the last remaining council member that is a member of a union household on city council. And so I absolutely do understand and value what you do every single day, and I value what the unions do for the city. I did not sign on immediately as a co-sponsor because I do like to hear from all sides before I make a decision, but I will sign on as a co-sponsor as well if Councilman But I do want to say, to me, it's disheartening when I hear some of the places you work for, that you'd even have to come down here and do this, because to me, these should be things that are just, automatic, that you don't have to come and lobby council for stuff that you absolutely deserve, you work for. And personally, as a mom and a grandmother who has now college-age grandkids, I certainly don't want my grandkids being in a university where somebody's sick and handling their food and doing all those things. So, I just don't understand why. Just to me, it just makes sense. You just don't want to, spread the cost associated with, having workers out sick because it spreads so much, and having students out and having faculty out. I mean, to me, there has to be some cost to that associated with all of that. That this having these extra days would be more beneficial and outweigh that concern. So I do want to thank you for being here, and I will sign on. And I do want to thank Sam. I'm getting ready to retire myself, so I will say, when you mentioned about older people and their work ethic, I have to say, I think I'm the oldest one on council now, although I try to pretend Anthony Coghill is, but I really am. But I will say that I think my work ethic is unmatched in a lot of times, and my colleagues work really hard. So if I say that, it's not anything against them. I know that I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My cell phone is on, and I try to be as accessible to people as I can. So I'm not going to go for the ageism comments. I'm going to say older people also work really hard, but they also do deserve the time. So thank you all for the work that you do every single day.
Thank you. And will Madam Clerk please note that Councilwoman Smith wants to be added as a co-sponsor. Just want to take a moment and just thank you all for your willingness to come down here and speak before council. I know for many of you, you're coming straight from work. You could have been doing many other things, but this is obviously an issue you care tremendously about, and we as a body are here to support you. So thank you for your time put in on this effort. Thank you for all that you do for our city. This will come back up for discussion next week, June 4th, I believe it is. And it'll be before City Council for a preliminary vote then. We can't say how we're going to vote now. We'd have to recuse ourselves then, but given you have 3 sponsors in front of you, you can deduce what you may. So I look forward to the conversation. I look forward to supporting SEIU and all our workers within the city. So thank you. Thank you. Having exhausted the business of this hearing, can we have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye. We are adjourned.